Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of CJ's Coins and Crafts. This episode is going to cover the 1927 Vermont Sesquicentennial Half Dollar. The area of Vermont had originally been claimed by New Hampshire, claiming its own western boundary to be 20 miles east of the Hudson River. British authorities had awarded the land to New York in 1764, but settlers of the area felt more affinity towards New Hampshire, from which they had received land grants. When New York issued grants for the same real estate, there was conflict between the two groups of settlers. Those with titles from New Hampshire organized the Green Mountain Boys, a local militia which focused on fending off unwanted settlers from New York, but changed their attention towards the British when the American Revolutionary War began in 1775. Brothers Ira and Ethan Allen were born in Connecticut and were leaders of the Green Mountain Boys. Ethan was captured in 1775, spending the remainder of the year a prisoner of the British following an ill-advised raid on Montreal. His brother Ira was a member of the convention that declared Vermont independent in January 1777. He would later go on to serve as state treasurer, design the Great Seal, and in the 1780s surveyed several towns, which three being named after him: Ira, Irisburg, and Alberg, which is believed to be short of Allenburg. In 1791, the year Vermont was admitted to the Union, he was the principal founder of the University of Vermont. From there, his luck declined. He had gone to France in 1796 to buy weapons for the state militia, but his ship and cargo were taken by the British. When he returned to Vermont, he found his land seized for taxes and was put in jail for debt. In 1777, the British General John Burgoyne advanced south from Canada, hoping to capture the Hudson Valley. Low on supplies during the Saratoga campaign, he heard of a poorly guarded American depot at what is now Bennington, Vermont, and sent part of his force to secure it. Vermonters were joined by some 1,500 New Hampshire militiamen, and on August 16, 1777, the Battle of Bennington occurred. The British troops were crushed, with about 200 killed and 700 taken prisoner. During the battle, only 40 Americans had been killed. Burgoyne was later defeated at the Battle of Saratoga. The legislation for a 50-cent silver piece and a gold $1 piece in commemoration of the 150th anniversaries of the battle at Bennington and of the independence of Vermont was introduced into the Senate by Frank Greene on January 9, 1925. Greene had not always been a friend to the commemoratives. Specifically, when the Monroe Doctrine Centennial Half Dollar was debated in 1922, he commented, "The question is whether the United States government is going to go on from year to year submitting its coinage to this, well, harlotry." His bill was referred to the Committee on Banking and Currency, with him being a member of that committee, reported the bill back to the Senate on January 20th with an amendment and recommendation that it pass. The amendment deleted the proposed $1 piece and increased the mintage of the half dollar from 20,000 pieces to 40,000 pieces. On January 24th, New Hampshire's George Moses, acting on Greene's behalf, moved that the Senate consider the bill, and it was passed without opposition. After the House received the Senate passed bill, it was referred to the Committee on Coinage, Weights, and Measures, which held hearings on January 30th. Chairman of the committee, Albert Vestal, introduced into the record a letter from Treasury Secretary Andrew Mellon opposing the measure. Mellon noted that many commemorative issues had failed to sell out, leaving coins in the mint or returning them for melting. Mellon felt that the public was being confused as surplus commemoratives were entered into circulation. There was significant opposition to striking more commemoratives by Vestal and others, but they wanted the Vermont bill to pass. Two things notably: President Calvin Coolidge was a Vermonter by birth, and sellers preferred a coin that could be spent if there was unsold surplus, over the creation of a metal that could not. Massachusetts Robert Leach commented, "I believe we have been going too fast, and I believe at some time we ought to quit it, but I dislike quitting on these gentlemen representing the state of Vermont this morning." Vestal issued a report the same day stating that the committee was against more commemorative coin issues, but the Bennington issue should pass because of the national importance of the events in 1777, and also the issue of 40,000 pieces was relatively small. The bill came to the floor of the House of Representatives on February 16th. California Representative John Raker pressed an amendment to provide for a California Diamond Jubilee half dollar. He explained that Senator Samuel Shortridge had gotten a bill through the Senate that was nearly identical to his. Vestal stated to his committee that after recommending the Bennington bill, had decided to no longer promote further coin bills. Minority Leader Finis J. Garrett of Tennessee pressed why this decision was not reached before the Bennington bill, which left Vestal short of response. The bill was passed after additional procedural wrangling and enacted by Coolidge's signature on February 24th, 1925. After legislative approval, the Vermont Sesquicentennial Commission moved quickly to secure designs. Members decided to have the coin show at Ira Allen on the obverse and the Battle of Bennington monument on the reverse. They initially commissioned Sherry Fry, who had created a statue of Allen for the University of Vermont, to design the coin. On July 1st, 1925, Fry wrote to Charles Moore, chairman of the Commission of Fine Arts, informing him that the models would be ready in about a week. Lewis Ayres, a member of the commission, and James Fraser, a former member of the commission, viewed the models before they were sent and did not approve. Ayres wrote to Moore on July 15th, stating that the designs were mediocre, but it was not entirely Fry's fault, as the Sesquicentennial Commission had dictated the designs. Moore wrote to Mint Director Grant on the 18th, relaying the problem with the suggestion from Ayres that the sketches be approved by the Mint before the artists spent time and effort on making the plaster models, with creative freedom of Fry to design of his own choosing. In spite of this, Fry formally submitted photographs of his models on August 9th. On September 5th, Moore replied, rejecting the models on several grounds. The Commission of Fine Arts questioned the choice of Allen, did not like lettering, objected to the misspelling of Bennington as Bennington, and had mistaken the monument for one erected for the Battle of Lake Champlain. On September 11th, John Spargo, chairman of the Sesquicentennial Commission, wrote to Grant pointing out the error and strongly defending the choices of Allen and the monument. He wrote again on the 15th, this time directly to Moore. Your commission has touched the pride of the Vermonter there with a rather rough hand. There was some dispute between Moore and Spargo regarding elements of the design. Spargo suggested that Moore put his objections in writing and be as clear as possible to induce Fry to continue with the project, as he had wanted to withdraw from it. Despite efforts, Fry refused to continue, and after failed negotiations with Theodore Spicer Simpson, the Vermont Commission engaged Charles Keck. It was not until March 24, 1926, that new models created by Keck were sent to the Fine Arts Commission. The commission admired Keck's portrait of Allen. They disliked the choice of Fay's Tavern for the reverse, suggesting to replace the building with a catamount or mountain lion or cougar species. The animal is a reference to Fay's Tavern, which was also known as the Catamount Tavern, a place where the Green Mountain Boys met. By the end of 1926, Keck had prepared two models, two with the catamount and a third featuring Revolutionary War memorabilia. The commission approved one showing a walking catamount for the reverse and asked the words "Founder of Vermont" be replaced by Ira Allen. The Vermont Commission objected to this, but the issue was resolved by the addition of the name. Keck promised completion in short order when he wrote to Grant on May 24th with photographs to be submitted to Secretary Mellon for final approval. The obverse of the coin features an idolized portrait of Ira Allen wearing a periwig. Below his head appears his name and the words "Founder of Vermont." The words "United States of America" surround his portrait. The reverse features a catamount facing and walking to the left. A total of 40,034 pieces of Vermont Sesquicentennial Half Dollars were struck at the Philadelphia Mint during January and February 1927, with the 34 reserved for inspection and testing at the 1928 meeting of the Annual Assay Commission. They were distributed by local banks, which had charged $1 per coin and sold primarily to Vermonters. Sales were not as robust as hoped, similarly with the other commemorative issues. In November 1928, Spargo wrote to the Mint Director Grant, requesting information on how to return several thousand coins, and by 1934, a total of 11,982 pieces had been returned to the Mint for melting. Profits from the coin went to the Vermont Historical Trust and were used to benefit museums and historical societies in the state, including the Bennington Museum. Would like to take this opportunity to thank you for listening to this show, and if you guys like this content, please hit the like button, and make sure if you enjoy the videos that I'm putting out, please also hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this, and we'll see you guys on the next one.